Hello and welcome to week 9 of Friday Football Fever. I'm Jeff Jones, and tonight 2 of the top teams in town got to renew a long-standing rivalry. Lake Travis and Dripping Springs have played each other 28 times in football, but before tonight, the most recent matchup between the two came back in 2011, back when some of the current players were only in first grade. But this evening, the Cavs hosted the Tigers in a game with a lot on the line and with very few empty seats.
I heard from our front office that it sold out in about 4 minutes once they put it out there to the public, so that's awesome.
You've got 2 great communities. They're going to pack a stadium.
I think they're the best team coming in here. I think they can come beat us in our own house.
We know it's going to be packed stands. There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of talk from each student section.
Really exciting and kind of like a new rivalry, I guess, that we have.
Yeah, it's a new old rivalry. So when I first got to Lake Travis, the drip game is what mattered, and that was the biggest one.
It was a long time ago, but you know, we've grown up playing those kids, and so it's definitely going to be a competitive game.
There's still some people around that remember those days. In fact, our running backs coach played running back at Lake Travis. Still holds, I think, a couple records.
Y'all came to our district, but, you know, LT is still here, you know.
It's the Game of the Week, sponsored by Urology Austin.
It's the game of the week, and it was another great one. Nico Hamilton started off by showing us what a cutback is supposed to look like. He broke free for a long run to get the scoring started. Then moments later, Caden Leon to Sam Self. The Cavaliers looked like they might find a way to pull off a home blowout. They led 14-3 then, but Dripping got on the board. It was a 7-point game at the half after this long touchdown. Then fast forward to the fourth quarter, the game was tied at 31 with only about 15 seconds remaining when Tigers running back Cade Curry untied the game like shoes after a long day. That go-ahead touchdown was the game winner. If you didn't know before, you definitely know now. Dripping Springs is for real. Tigers win this one 38-31. So now that you have seen the highlights and you know the score, you might think that you know the game inside and out, but my man Corey Mose was right there on the sideline. He joins us now to dig deeper into this one. Corey, the game just ended, but I know you had a chance to chat with some of those winning players and coaches from Dripping Springs. What did they have to say?
What's going on, Jeff? And what's going on, beautiful people? Jeff, man, look, you got to stop sending me out to these Dripping Springs games. They keep giving me heart palpitations because they're so close all the time. Now, coming into this game, both teams were averaging about 40 points a game, so we knew there were going to be fireworks. But it was actually a defensive stop by Dripping Springs on 4th down that was the turning point of this game. And I was able to talk to one of the defensive captains, Luca Pacucci, about that stop after the final whistle. All right, Luca, big time stop on that 4th down last drive for Lake Travis, man. What was going on through your mind in that defense?
Well, our whole theme this whole week was competitive greatness, which kind of means you got to compete when it's needed at the most. Like, you got to bring your best when the best is needed. And in the situation on 4th and 1, like, that's exactly what that theme is for. And that's when we brought it. We brought the house and we held them.
And after getting that stop, y'all still needed to score. And that's where you came in. Y'all scored that touchdown run. What was going on through your mind? What did you see out there?
Man, that was a very, very, very tough game. It took all 4 quarters. You know, we were really driving. You know, it took almost all of our effort. You know, I surely was tired. So it was just really great to have that touchdown, you know, really great to have the blocks that I had, and just really glad we got it. So.
Hey, Coach, after halftime, y'all scored on y'all's first 2 drives. What was the halftime speech? What did you give to them?
Well, there's no magic speech. These guys, they just got together and decided we're going to bring a little bit more energy in the second half. You know, I'm proud of them because, man, they came out, you know, and one of our things is win the first drive of each half. You know, they came out and did that and just started building on it. And there's still some adversity in the second half, but we didn't ever let that energy die. And that's all on the kids, man. They really brought it. We executed great, so I'm extremely proud of them and our coaching staff. I mean, they did a great job this second half against a phenomenal team.
And Coach, first win against Lake Travis in 20 years. How does that sound?
Well, I haven't been around for that long, but I know there's a lot of people behind me that are super excited about that one. So we're just excited because this is our 5th district win, and we're ready to hopefully go make a run in the playoffs.
Well, thank you, Coach. Congratulations, guys, and good luck next week. And like you mentioned, Jeff, Dripping Springs is legit. After moving up to 6A for the first year, let's look at their resume. They defeated Vandergrift in week 1. They had a great game against Westlake, played all the way through the end to the fourth quarter, and now they beat Lake Travis. This team is going to have a good run in the playoffs, and so it'll be interesting to see how far they go in their first year in the 6A division.
Yeah, Corey, that makes a lot of sense. The only thing I'm confused about is earlier when you said I got to stop sending you to Dripping Springs games. Now, you dress with so much drip every day. I figured drip at Dripping was just a match made in heaven. We'll talk about that once you get back to the station. You travel safely. And, guys, if you're watching, stay right there because we have more highlights for you starting right now. We're going to go to 25-6A where a ton was on the line in tonight's Manor Vista Ridge game. The Rangers entered the evening undefeated in district, and a win tonight would lock up a trip to the playoffs. Manor started the season as hot as anyone in town, but after 3 straight district losses and failing to score more than a touchdown in each of those 3 games, they needed a win tonight to keep postseason hopes alive. Here is what Manor's been searching for. Some explosive plays on offense. David Jeffrey put the Mustangs in the red zone. And, guys, I honestly don't know if there is a better goal line back in the state than Quentin Joyner. The future USC running back scored the 15th touchdown of his senior season. That score, short and sweet. This one turned some heads. A Jackson Harrell bomb to the left hash. Receiver James Hester juggled it a few times, but maybe that was all an act to set up that swap move over the defenders. If it was an act, it was actually Manor who was called on stage for an encore. The Mustangs win this one 21-7. To the scoreboard for the first time tonight, Round Rock. The Dragons flying high over McNeil, got a big win 44-7. Westwood looking to get back in that win column. Well, they're going to have to look next weekend because they didn't get it tonight. Stony Point, their first district win of the season, I believe, 45-21, the final score in that one. The scores keep on coming. Bowie, huge shutout there. The Bulldogs inching closer and closer to clinching a playoff berth. It looks like they might get it this year. 70-0, the win there. And San Marcos couldn't hang with Judson, but Judson is a powerhouse from just outside the San Antonio area. Final score there, 55-35. Back to the highlights. Austin High taking on Westlake, and here's a great example of what Jack Kaser can do. He's a patient runner, but when he sees daylight, you see the back of his jersey. A 44-yard touchdown got the scoring started. Jack's teammate Jaden Greathouse then said, "I see your 44-yard score, and I raised you 6. The future Notre Dame receiver went 50 yards untouched. Well, untouched until he reached the dudes wearing overalls, but they're not trying to tackle him. That is 48 straight wins for Westlake. Final score in this one, a familiar score, one we just saw on the board, 70-0. Up in Hutto, the Hippos hosted a light show and Coppers Cove. Hutto has one of the best linebackers in Central Texas, but when you're 220 pounds, you can hit and you have hands, well, you never leave the field. Brody Bueno with a 40-yard catch. Brody has 4 receiving scores to go along with over 100 tackles this season. Second quarter, J.J. Banks said you can take that to the end zone, and you can roll your own quarters and dimes while you're there. Hutto earns district win number 1. Final score 42-3. A couple more scores are coming in as we speak. Hendrickson, the narrow win, but it's a win, 18-10 over Leander. And Rouse wanted to beat Waco U, but they're coming back to town with a loss 21-16. The Raiders trying to get back on track. More scores coming your way. Kerrville-Tivy beats the guys from Bastrop. Cedar Creek falls 35-10. And Lockhart and Bastrop, very, very close game. The Lions, an impressive season, continues to impress. 4-point win over the Bears. Hey, we have updated you on 12 games so far, and we have much more left to show you. Scores, highlights, our Band of the Week, and our Play of the Week nominees are all coming up a little later in the show. Welcome back to Friday Football Fever. It is time for me to bring in my good friend Tyler Feldman. And Tyler, after Cedar Park opened the season 0-3 against 3 really good 6A teams, they've turned things around quite a bit in district play.
Jeff, they're definitely on the right track. 2 district wins coming in, and a 3rd win tonight would make them the favorites to reach the playoffs for the 15th consecutive season. Standing in their way, though, one of the toughest 5A teams in town, the Glen Grizzlies.
Yeah, they had that special offense. We'll see if it was special tonight. Hey, at Bible Stadium, the fans went wild for what our photographer Eric called the dueling sevens. Here's why. First, it was Cedar Park's number 7, Tyree Nicholson, with a 45-yard catch and run touchdown in the 3rd. Yeah, you earn nice jewelry when you play like that. Then it was Glen's number 7, DJ Dugar, with his 12th rushing touchdown of the season. DJ is having a great year, but tonight, well, it wasn't their night. Cedar Park gets its 3rd district win, final score 21-10.
Out in Kyle, we had ourselves a 12-5A matchup between San Antonio, MacArthur, and Lehman. Both teams riding 5-game losing streaks. Both teams still in search of their 1st district win of the season. Now that right there is Joshua Speed showing off the speed. High gear, high 5, touchdown MacArthur. A little later, it's Lehman's turn. Noah Long finds a seam, and he's long gone. MacArthur wins a close one, though, 28-24.
More scores coming your way right now. Canyon Lake over Burnett doubled them up, 28-14 the final score there. Lampasas, well, they had been on a roll, but that roll has stopped. San Antonio Davenport beat them 55-34. More scores coming your way. Fredericksburg, the Billies playing the role of bully tonight, I guess. 32-14 the final score there. Smithville falls to Gonzales, 52-44 that final.
The 0-7 Eastview Patriots making the trip out to College Station to take on 6-1 A&M. Consolidated first quarter. That man's got on his dancing shoes. Look out, Trey Taylor, double T, in for the tutty. Early 7-0 lead for the Tigers. Ensuing Eastview drive. Ty Blair drops back, looks over the middle, gets picked off. Michael Clark takes it away as the Tigers run away in this one. Patriots sadly remain winless, 52-7.
Staying in 11-5A, Georgetown hosted 6-1 College Station and hoped to snap the Cougars' 6-game win streak. This will help. The first play from scrimmage went to Drayden Dickman. He'll play his college ball at Rice next year. Later in the first, this play is just wild. Quarterback Nora Boris escaped pressure in the pocket and then ducked under a defender there and finally found Weston Bruce. Weston checked into the end zone. Now, this particular Weston does not have a continental breakfast, but he does have an important district win. Eagles take this one 49-38.
Bruce almighty there, too. Back to the boards. Lago Vista now 6-2. Yeah, the Vikings keeping pace with Wimberley and Navarro after beating Manor New Tech 59-8. Good night for Gerald, bad night for Austin. Achieved Cougars blow out the Polar Bears 72-0. More boards. Cameron Yo gets another win. The Yo men now 6-2. They corral Rockdale 47-21. Llano nearly stung, but the Jackets survived. They beat Blanco 17-6 to remain unbeaten. They're now 8-0.
From 8-0 to a team that was 0-8. Tough day for the guys from Connolly. They traveled up to take on Killeen Chaparral, and they lost big. This is Chaparral's first win as a varsity program. Like I said, they were 0-8 coming into tonight. No longer. Final score in this one, 50-18.
Beautiful night out in Taylor, Texas to watch the Ducks fly together against Marble Falls in that slot T offense. Mustangs losers of 4 straight. Ducks 3 straight. Opening quarter, opening drive, 3rd and long for the Ducks. But check out jumping Jarvis Anderson. He gets 1 foot in. What a catch, what a pass from Ryan Valdez. It's 7-0 Taylor. Later in the first, 3rd and long. Now for the Mustangs, Jamie Castillo. Long catch and run. Deep into Ducks territory. Then on the very next play, Jorge Ruiz does the rest. Nice little scamper into the end zone. We're tied at 7 first quarter, but it's the Ducks who go on to get their first win since September 16th, 42-26 over the Mustangs. Scoreboards. We had ourselves a fight for last place in 13-3A. It's Elkhart who takes down Florence 64-22. Meanwhile, Lexington was looking to remain one of the few remaining unbeatens in all of UIL. And they do. The Eagles fly past Clifton 40-7. More boards. Mason Punchers picked up win number 6 with a 60-0 crushing of the Junction Eagles. And the Chilton Pirates take down Granger 34-27. 20-19.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
You know,
Give it to us one more time.
You know, I came from Greenville, North Carolina. You got the ECU Pirates, and that's what they do there. So I had a lot of practice.
Okay. Do they like pop music in Greenville, North Carolina?
They like all kinds of music.
Okay. Well, if they like pop and they like Lady Gaga, they have something in common with the Georgetown Band. That's our band of the week. Check them out. Welcome back to Friday Football Fever, and tonight we saw a rivalry that is over a century old. Giddings versus LaGrange, the battle of Highway 77.
Jeff, these two teams first met back in 1916. The Band-Aid wasn't even invented until 1921. In total, they played nearly 100 times, with LaGrange winning 49, Giddings winning 48. So I think it's time we rip that Band-Aid off and see if Giddings can even up this long-time rivalry. But to even it up, the Buffaloes would have to believe they could win, and by doing so, snap their 5-game losing skid. Panthers strike first. Jaden Williams around the outside. Extra effort, too. That's how it's done. Touchdown, 7-0 Leopards. All right, Giddings' turn. Looks like your typical run play until it's not. Ball pops loose. Ty Scott scoops it up and unknots his tie all the way back the other way. Touchdown Leopards. LaGrange gets win number 50 in this nearly century-old series, 38-14.
To House Park, Crockett versus Eastside, and Crockett's Cameron Dickey had the best start to a game that I have ever seen, bar none. First play from scrimmage, Cameron threw a 52-yard touchdown. Chris Giles on the receiving end there. And literally seconds later, on Crockett's first defensive play of the game, Cameron hauled in a pick six. That's 2 plays, 2 touchdowns, 1 player. The Cougars move on to 5-3. They win big, 77-0. AISD play continuing here. McCallum playing Navarro. The Vikings versus the Knights. And here's a good break for the Scandinavians with horns on their helmets. Tyler, that's the Vikings. And Navarro recovered a fumbled punt, but could not turn it into points. An onside kick after halftime did help McCallum into the end zone, though. Wide receiver Zayed Al-Abdali took the snap, and he didn't stop till he saw points hit the scoreboard. I'm glad they put those points up before he reached the parking lot. The Knights win this one. Final score 42-10.
Huge 13-4A battle in Wimberley. Unbeaten Texans hosting Geronimo. Navarro, both teams 2-0 in district. Texans on offense here. Johnny Ball on the ball, but then he loses his last name. Panthers recover, but make nothing of it. Later, Wimberley back with Johnny's last name. Ball. Cody Stuver steps up, scrambles, buys time, and finds Noah Birdsong. Tweet, tweet. Wide open, 18-yard touchdown as the Texans, they're singing that beautiful bird song tonight. Now 8-0, 21-14.
Is that a canary?
I don't know birds, Jeff. I don't know birds.
Okay. See y'all after the break for more Tweet Tweet.
I'm here to present the Abacus Athlete of the Week, and it's going to Ed Small. So, Ed.
That's my boy!
He's going to college. He's going to college. You reached over 1,000 yards receiving for the year. You still got 2 games left to play. How have you been so successful on the field?
A lot of credit to Fred Dale.
Fred Dale?
Yeah, he's been great this year. All the credit goes to him. And the O-line's holding up.
I love the QB love right there. And so you're also a Texas baseball commit. You know, a lot of people, at this division, 6A, it's hard for them to balance 2 sports, but then also be great at 2 sports. How are you able to do that?
In football season, I try to put baseball away to get my mind off of it, and then I just play football. And then when baseball comes around, it's like fully committed to that. So I just stay committed to the sport I'm playing at the time.
This award, man, it's based off of what you do on the field, but also what you do off the field. You have over a 4.0 GPA. How are you able to balance the 2?
My parents push me real hard in the classroom, me and my sister a lot, and I just get my homework done and try my best in school.
You're only a sophomore, man, so you still got a long ways to go. But having so much success at such a young age, how do you keep yourself kind of humble a little bit?
I think it's a lot of credit to my parents. They push me real hard, and my sister's also a really good athlete, and she pushes me too. She's always working out and stuff like that.
All right, y'all, one more time for Ed. Congratulations.
It's the big save of the week, sponsored by Austin Telco.
Let's get things started with Crockett High School's Cameron Dickey, who scored touchdowns on each of the first 2 plays from scrimmage. That pick 6 was the second trip to the end zone. The Cougs were up 14-zip faster than you could say. Cameron Dickey, welcome to the Big Save of the Week list.
Taylor's Jarvis Anderson may be deaf, but his play speaks louder than words. Concentration, got 1 foot in. Yeah, that's how it's done. Ducks win. Jarvis Anderson continues to wow. He is a rock star, just like you, Jeff.
He should be getting college offers, I'll say it. Hey, and last up is one of those plays that we watched again and again in the sports office. Georgetown Noah Boris bought a ton of time in the pocket, enough time to find Weston Bruce in the corner of the end zone. Weston Bruce, he ain't Bruce Springsteen, but he was a rock star on that play. Now that you've seen our nominees, go ahead and find my Twitter page at Jeff Jones Sports. When you're there, you'll see a poll. Let us know what your favorite play was. And on Tuesday, we'll let you know about the winner. And a moment ago, I talked about rock stars. I want to give a shout out to our rock star photographer, Andrew Sanchez. He's been shooting highlights for us for 3 years. He's going to his next station, graduating to Dallas. Thanks, Andrew.
Been struggling with male or female urology issues? It's